All of May 2nd, 2024. Special Commission meeting to order. Please stand for flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the agenda as printed. I make that motion.
Second.
And moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consent agenda. Minutes of the 25th meeting and April 25th canvas minutes. Expenditures of $240,076. Entity defense wire of $9,750. SD security wire of $4,674. Health insurance wire of $475. And check of $4,553.83. And utilities wire of $4,525.80 and a special check for $118.75.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
And moved and second. Any other discussion? Not all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Commission comments and reports. Lynn?
Well, really about the only thing, and I just mentioned this in the work study session, Tom Whitehair said he had some information on some of the testing that is going on throughout the county, and that if we wanted to utilize some of the information he had. So I'd kind of like to set up some time or so to visit with him and follow up on the information he has. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Lynn. Ron?
I don't have anything this morning.
Thank you, Ron. In our work session this morning, Dustin Park, who's here now for our IT policy update. Well, I guess an update, a new one we've never had. Darren Fahey, I guess that's how you pronounce it, Restoration Church, was in the ministry for recovering alcoholics and drug abuse people. And then our county attorney, Brock Abbott, was in to give his update. That's all I have. We'll go ahead then for presentation, proclamations of the public comments. So anybody on the internet? Nobody? Okay. Report of county officers.
Commissioners, the MCH nurse started on Wednesday at the health department, so that's good news. We have that position filled. We have several staff today that are attending the human resources supervisory training in Salina. And just additional training is always a good thing for them, and connecting, making connections there and networking. The Eisenhower Marathon went smoothly. We had several departments and quite a bit of staff involved in that, emergency management, EMS, and the highway department for the day. They did have to shut it down about an hour early because of weather. So I think that there were 10 runners that fortunately were picked up before they were able to complete the course. So. And then noxious weed departments have been spraying weeds out in the county. 1145 First Road, the second coat of epoxy has been poured on that, and the seeding should start next week. Unfortunately, at least for work, the rain has kind of stalled that, but it's been good for us. And the same thing at 1022 Old 40, they're adding fill, but obviously it's going to be put on hold probably till next week. And then the highway department is out cleaning ditches right now. So.
Timeline, I mean, the rain's delayed the culvert on 40. It's all poured and stuff.
It's all poured, and they're just doing in the fill, and then they'll have to put in seating, obviously, and get that completed, and the rails, and then.
Why?
Mhm.
You know, that's okay.
Right.
So probably another 4 weeks.
I don't think it'll take them quite that long, honestly. So
Depending on what the weather does.
depending on what the weather does.
They're talking about rain next week.
Right. And remember, that was a 120-day project, and they were supposed to start in February, and then they had a delay themselves, so they started later. So.
Well, got delayed by cables not being moved.
Correct.
That wasn't their fault.
No, definitely not. So we'll take that into consideration.
Thank you, Janelle. Any questions for Janelle? Commissioner, County Counselor Doug Thompson.
There's, as you know, there are 4 attorneys on the court-appointed list, and one of the attorneys has had to resign because of health issues. and so turned in his resignation at the end of April. We're in the process now of trying to find a fourth attorney, and haven't had much success with that yet, but I'm trying. And so the one that I thought we would get said, no, I'm going to stay with family and et cetera, and so be unavailable. So I've got one other. I just haven't received a response back from her yet. I'll keep you posted in regards to that matter. That's all I've got.
And if I could,
Okay, yeah.
we did meet with Greg Cox, and he's not interested. It's probably going to be more time, but he has somebody in mind that he's going to talk to. So they may be reaching out to you.
Did he say who? 'Cause I
No.
talked to him this morning.
Okay, okay. Maybe it's the same one. Craig didn't tell me, so I just told him to reach out to you.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Any questions for Doug? Going to communications, notice communications, Kansas Department of Health and Environment, they repeat regularly. Kim Stroda, section 4, I'm sorry, SE, southeast corner of section 27. Mobile River Basin proposes to reissue an existing state permit for existing facility of 1,800 180 animal units of 55 pounds or less. That's all we have for communications. Introduction and consider resolutions, IT. Want Dustin to come up and explain that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Come on up, Dustin.
Dustin Parks, I'm the IT and GIS director. Resolution 050224 is for the adoption of the Dickinson County, Kansas IT Policy Handbook. This IT Policy Handbook formalizes a lot of the policies that we've had in place that are just kind of unwritten policies for IT, as well as establishes some guidelines on data custodianship for multiple reasons and offices. And then also kind of provides a guide for employees to know some best practices, as well as things to work with IT on data migration for software and new hardware purchases and that sort of thing. Do you want me to go through the resolution itself? Or?
Yeah, why don't you just highlight it, Dustin?
The resolution essentially acknowledges the fact that Dickinson County, both as an organization and as the Board of Commissioners, recognizes that there is a escalation in the frequency of cybersecurity attacks, and that in order to help safeguard both Dickinson County as an entity and the information provided by citizens to Dickinson County, that we needed to establish some more hard policies in terms of making them written down. And this resolution outlines that acknowledgement, as well as adopting the policy handbook.
It just carries us forward into the future.
New policy, we've never had one before.
Mhm.
Any questions for Dustin?
Good, thank you.
Appreciate all the work you do on this.
Have a motion to approve the policy number, and I don't have it in front of
I'd move that we adopt resolution 050224. And this is to adopt the Dickinson County, Kansas IT policy handbook.
Second. Any questions for Dustin? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We have no unfinished business, other business, compensation policy, Janelle and Marcus.
Commissioners, again, it's another policy that I'm requesting that you adopt for a formal compensation policy regarding our wage and salary administration. It pertains to attracting and retaining, specifically retaining qualified employees for open positions in the county. It just lays out what we're going to follow when we are seeking employees. It lays out the path that employees that are hired or currently in place could see. They can follow the path as raises occur, as training occurs, if they move a step in grade, It also talks about the evaluation. It's tied back to the evaluation as well, that they receive annually from their managers. It talks about the salary structure and the minimum and maximum. It also pulls out some pay levels in certain departments because of the type of job or the shift work that they do. So we've identified 5 of them currently, but this policy will be renewed annually. It also talks how we classify our our positions as well. So we're just asking that you formally adopt the policy that we would put in place moving forward for 2025.
We did have some conversation earlier about changing a couple of them. So that will be included in
Correct.
policy.
I move to accept the compensation policy.
I'll second it. Then move to second, any discussion?
One of my concerns, but I think as long as we're aware of this going in advance, I mean, it does give a pathway that people understand their job description and what it can lead to and being competitive and all that. But with 145 employees, it also is going to be a big part of our budget.
Right.
And the amount that we increase it for this particular piece to stay competitive, I think we'll need to, when it comes budget time, it's almost like we're committing to this, but at budget time, we're going to have to look at some ways, where do we make it up in other areas?
Right.
It could be we wouldn't be able to set as much aside in reserves or something like that. I mean, now that's my side of it. I don't know
That's
other two, but when we get to that budget, I think we're going to have some.
absolutely. Yes. And that's part of the budget process. That's part of the process that we'll be looking at when we're doing that. The policy, and I have just a little bit different view, and I understand that, is just setting it in writing how we're going to move forward with attracting and retaining employees. I mean, that's a pretty basic summary, but this is what we want to follow.
Because I know the one concern people have is property taxes,
Right.
and that's the main funding source. I mean, we do have some other funding sources, but
Right.
and sales taxes increase and so on. But when we get to the overall budget and trying to keep things in check and hold the line there, it's going to be more challenging or just as challenging as any year if we're committing to this, because it is going to involve some
Absolutely.
funds.
And as part of our process, there's an annual review of the policy, and then again, another review during budget as well to see what we can fund.
That's all I have to say.
No, it's, I'll just shoot out the numbers out there. We're looking at approximately $400,000. That's a lot of money. It'd be in top of what we were already, if we didn't do anything, we'd be talking $600,000.
That's just an estimate. Let's just, yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
just an estimate of what, I mean, I'm rounding it off down and up.
Right,
Conceptually, though.
Yeah.
right.
Actually, and it is, but the biggest thing is it's our people are our most important asset, and we do spend more of that, except for road and bridge, on employees. It's kind of like school district. It's the most important asset. If you want to keep good people, you need to hire them and pay them well. But then again, we're on a one-legged stool with property tax. State hasn't given us any relief.
Nope.
I know of.
No, and don't believe it's going to happen again this year. So I appreciate it is a big ask. I do appreciate that. So, and it's something that we do have in mind as we're going through our process.
Call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Bid for steel stringers at 1540 2900 Avenue.
Commissioners, this is a 20-foot steel beam bridge that we're replacing, and we went out for bid on a 13 10 by 33 by 20-foot steel beams. We received bids from Wellborn Sales in the amount of $6,895.20. Odin Enterprises, $7,474.87. Salina Steel Supply, $8,285.71. So staff is recommending the bid from Wellborn Sales in the amount of the $6,895.20.
I'll make a motion to accept Walmart sales for $6,895.20.
Second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We need to sign the final abstract for the USD bond election. Do we need to make a motion to do that, or?
Yes, I'd move that we sign that final abstract for the USD 435 bond election.
Second. Any other discussion? Not all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Sign total expenses for the presidential primary to go to the state. I like that a little bit,
I can do that. So the Secretary of State's office will be reimbursing us for the presidential primary expenses, and that covers the advertising, the cost of the ballots, postage, the setup of the ballot machines, the voting machines. It also included our board workers, site support, the rental of the building, the overtime for staff, and the guards that we provided as well, envelopes. So it's a total of $31,930.78 that we were requesting reimbursement for.
Any questions for Janelle? If not, I'll make a motion to approve the presidential primary expenses.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Future meetings agenda, I'll be attending the KCHA conference in the 21st. I'm not going for the 3 days. That's one thing that's on the agenda. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second it.
And move and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Stand adjourned.